Bilal Powell, and you're watching Dan Sports News.
No, Farrakhan, and you're watching Dan Sports News.
I'm Edwards, and you're watching Dan Sports News.
This is Javon Cornell, and you're watching Dan Sports News.
This is Amaya Kino, and you're listening to the Dan Sports News and Friends podcast.
This is Will Richardson, and you're watching Dan Sports News.
What's up, everybody? It's Clee Watt. You're listening to the Dan Sports News podcast.
This is Nicole Michelle, and you're listening to the Dan Sports News and Friends podcast.
This is Jaden Gould, and you're listening to the Dan Sports News and Friends podcast.
This is Elliot Cadone, and you're listening to Dan Sports News.
So you're from North Carolina, which is known as the Hoop State. Basketball culture is really big out there. So for people who don't know, just tell me a little bit about basketball culture out there in North Carolina.
People probably think of it as like less gritty than like some like New York or Chicago, but we really just have a lot of talent. Just every time you step on the floor, you're going to get everyone's best game.
Right, and for people who don't know, guys like Michael Jordan, Chris Paul, and John Wall, and more recently like Kobe White and Dennis Smith Jr. are some of the guys from North Carolina. So who are those guys that you really looked up to growing up from North Carolina as a kid?
I watched all the Kobe Whites. I love Michael Jordan. Ton of players. I don't know if there's a specific guy from North Carolina, but I just try to take little pieces of everybody's game.
Now, did you have a favorite basketball player growing up in general, regardless if it was from North Carolina?
Favorites are probably, it kind of rotated. So there's Steph Curry, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, but different players.
Now, you're actually a dual sport athlete. You're playing football as well. I know things, so I assume you had a season. It was supposed to be in the fall, but it got postponed to spring because of COVID.
So I'm in football right now, actually.
So they're playing right now. Has that, affected stuff with AAU? Because I think AAU basketball starts about now as well, right?
Yeah, so it's kicking off. So for the team I'm on, most of the stuff that we do is on the weekends. So for now, it's not really intervening, so I'm pretty good with that for right now.
Do you have a favorite sport that you prefer? Do you prefer one or the other, or no, not really?
I'd have to say they're probably even. I couldn't pick.
Do you think you're better at one than the other, or no?
I don't think so. Some people would probably say different for each, but I think I'm pretty even at both.
It was your freshman year. You actually picked up your first Division I offer before the season started. So how was that, going into your first year of high school basketball already with an offer?
I was really surprised to get it. So I didn't think I would get a first offer until maybe after the freshman year, maybe even later. So I was just really happy and excited to get that first one going into the season.
And it was from Houston, a team who's currently in March Madness in the NCAA tournament. Are you watching Houston with a closer eye now that they've offered you?
Definitely. I've watched all the games in March Madness and throughout the season.
Tell me a little bit about your first year of high school basketball at South Meck. How did it go in your opinion?
A lot of ups and downs. So I started the season, first game, getting hurt in the second quarter. So I was out for a couple games. And then I come back, and then it gets postponed. And so we missed that, and then I get hurt again. And so most of the regular season, I was, on and off, battling injuries, playing with that, or missing games. So even as a team, we kind of started off slow, not having a preseason and different things like that. But you could just tell every time we played, we got a lot better, we got a lot closer. And once we got into playoff time, originally we weren't supposed to make the playoffs. And then two teams lost late, Vance and I think maybe West Charlotte. And so we got in as a 13 seed. And we went, every playoff game, we just got a lot better. And so we beat, I think, Independence first game, and then we beat Huff, and then we lost a close one late, and I think the Elite Eight. So it was a great experience from our first freshman year, ups and downs, overcoming different things. But in the end, I loved the team. We really bonded in the short time we were together.
So would you say, what affected you more? Was it COVID, just not sure how many games you were going to play, or was it more the injuries that you think kind of slowed down this past season for you guys?
There was definitely uncertainty, in any moment we could get stopped, and we were kind of expecting it right before it happened the first time, but I think at the end of the day, Hoopers just want to play basketball, so I don't think that really affected me as much as it did, just trying to get back as fast as possible with the short season.
Right, and if I'm not mistaken, I think you guys were wearing masks. I know a lot of the other states, well, it varied based on states. How was that for you, just playing wearing a mask? Do you think that affected you or not really?
I don't think it affected my overall game, but there was moments where it was a little tough, and you forget sometimes to pull it down. And I had like maybe twice where the refs pulled me out, and I didn't even notice my mask was down. So, I don't think it impacted the game as a whole, but it did make it a little difficult at times.
Now, was that something you guys were like practicing? Like, I assume during practice you guys had your masks on, so you were like prepared for the game situation?
Yeah, trainers, they were very adamant on like keeping your mask up, different things like that, just so we could have a season and not get shut down.
And I mean, it's totally and completely different with football because you guys are outside, right? So you don't really have to wear that mask that much, right?
So you can wear a mask under, but they have like masks that they give you that goes over your face mask. So it's a little different. It's not like right up on you, so you don't notice that as much.
Gary Hall, it was his first season as well at South Mech. He was actually going to be the McDonald's All-American head coach last season, but the game got canceled due to COVID. So what was it just like learning under, Gary Hall, a great basketball mind?
It was really good. I've been blessed to have good coaches, football and basketball, over the years, and I had another good coach this year. He definitely helped my game, and he's continuing to help my game. And I think being under him he sees the game in different ways than other coaches, I think. So like pre-game, like getting prepared to like for certain matchups, I think he did a great job of that. And the only reason we ever lost is just maybe not following the game plan or different things like that. But yeah, he did a good job to put us in good situations to win games.
Now, what do you feel like you need to improve on in your game for next season to get closer to that next level?
Definitely still working on jump shot. I think I do a good job of facilitating, passing, moving the ball. But every part of my game, but I think specifically probably catch and shoot, off the dribble, just different combinations and getting that shot to go in.
You guys are out there in North Carolina. I guess the big news in the offseason was that Mikey Williams, this guy that everybody watches, 16 years old, he could do all these dunks and stuff like that. He ended up transferring to Lake Norman there in North Carolina. Now, are they in like the same league as you? Did you ever play them or anything like that?
So they're private school and we were public school, so I didn't get a chance to play him this year, but I definitely heard all the like chatter and different things like that and hype of him coming in.
You probably, I guess, will somewhere along the line, down the line, you'll meet him somewhere in one of these showcases or AAU circuit, right?
At some point I'll probably get the chance to play him, and that's exciting. Just anytime you get to play good competition, and it just always makes you better, and it's exciting.
And I know Rob Dillingham is another guy out there in North Carolina. Do you guys play his school?
They're private school as well, so I think they played Mikey this year, so I haven't got a chance to play him either, but yeah.
Right, but yeah, another guy you'll definitely meet down the line. Who do you think your style of play is most like in the NBA?
I go back and forth. I don't know if I could compare myself to just one player. I think different things, it's tough. I try to take different things, ball passing. I try to off the dribble like Paul George and play defense both ways. So I think I take different pieces. I couldn't compare myself to one guy.
You got your first offer from Houston. Is there anything that stands out to you in that program?
Definitely. I think they're really gritty. They play with a lot of heart. And like just the way they attack the boards, that's a big emphasis in their program, and the way they play defense. And Kelvin Sampson is a great coach for them. He puts them in the right positions, and that's why they're having success this season.
Now, are there any other schools that have showed interest so far?
Not really.
Yeah, now you're playing for Team CP3. Tell me a little bit about that.
So new team, we're just now getting together. We had our first tournament last weekend, and first game, a little sloppy, first time playing together. But, over the next 3 games, we definitely improved, and I think we finished it off very strong.
And the AAU season is just getting started, so you have more games coming up, right?
Yes, sir.
Just tell me about being a part of Team CP3. Chris Paul, like we said, is a legend from North Carolina area. So what does it mean to you to be playing for such a prestigious organization like Team CP3?
It means a lot It means a lot for them to reach out and show interest in me, and I'm just excited to represent Chris Paul in any way I can and just get a lot of wins with the team, hopefully.
Now, how is it balancing AAU season now that you're in it, as well as high school football?
I don't think it's too difficult. I think since basketball's on the weekends and high school football's mostly during the weekdays, I try to stretch as much as I can, and I need to definitely do a better job of that. But just try to keep my body in better shape to perform at both levels.
And how is the football season going so far?
A little slow, but slowly catching on with everything, and it's exciting. We have another game this Friday.
And what position do you play in football?
I play wide receiver.
Do you have a favorite wide receiver who you'd say your game is like in the NFL?
I think I'm more new to wide receiver, so before I was a quarterback, so I'm starting to watch different route running from different guys like Devontae Smith or different people like that, but I've always loved Odell Beckham.
So do they use you for a lot of wide receiver options when you throw it? Anything like that so far?
A little bit. We're kind of getting into that.
Who is your favorite NBA team?
The Charlotte Hornets.
So they have LaMelo Ball. Are you watching him very closely now and stuff like that?
Yeah, I have, especially just hearing about the injury. That's tough for them to lose him so late in the season.
But yeah, that's a great point guard to study. Who's your favorite NFL team?
The Carolina Panthers.
Okay. Who do you think you're going to draft first round? A quarterback?
I'm hoping we're going to get Deshaun Watson, despite all the news and different things going on there. That's crazy, but I would love to get him as a quarterback. But if not, I love Trevor Lawrence, even though he's probably going number one. So we'll see. Hopefully we get a good quarterback this season.
Yeah, I think that kid Trey Lance is going to be something special.
Yeah, I heard we might get him too. That's exciting.
Now, before a game, what do you like to listen to? What gets you hyped?
Different things. I think I watch a lot of game highlights. So I watch Kobe Bryant highlights before games and different things like that. Or if I'm playing a football game, I'll watch college football videos like that. So I don't think I have a specific thing. I just kind of mix it up every time before I play.
Do you listen to any music or anything like that?
Yeah, all different genres, rap, different things like that.
Who's your favorite artist that you're listening to the most before a game?
I don't think I have a favorite artist. I think I just kind of go with different people. Whatever comes up on my phone, I'll probably put it in. Just being able to kind of zone out before games just helps a lot.
And what's your favorite shoe to hoop in, and then what's your favorite shoe off court?
Favorite shoe to hoop in. So before, I think I played the Under Armour circuit. So I think mostly I probably played in Curry's the most, but my favorite shoe to hoop in, that's hard. I like Kevin Durant's. I'm getting into Adidas shoes now, and I'm getting into Jordan shoes now that I'm playing with CP3. And then off the court, I'd probably say I like Jordan 1s the best, probably.
Who would you say was the toughest player you ever had to go up against, whether it was in a game, a camp, a practice? Who was somebody who was just very tough?
I played a lot of good players, especially being in North Carolina. I think his name is L.J. Thomas. I think he is in one of the older classes, but I guarded him. I think he's a junior, senior. He was really tough. Players in my class, I've guarded Zion Walker, Hampton Evans, Langston Boyd, Josh Kim. So I don't know if I could pick one, but I've guarded a lot of tough players with all the talent in North Carolina.
What are some of your goals for this upcoming season in basketball?
Well, hopefully this season we'll have less of an impact with COVID and everything, and it'll be more smooth. So hopefully just get more wins than we did last season, get a little better, bond with the team, and just come out with a state championship. That's always the goal.
And are you interested in playing football as well as basketball in college, if you have the opportunity?
Yeah. Well, I would pick one. So I wouldn't play both in college, but I think I'll wait till my senior year and play both and write it out and see which one I end up choosing.
So good luck with everything.
Thank you.